Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about Kefri's horn, an exotic titan headpiece. A while back, I got Kefri's horn from doing a nightfall. I tried it out for a bit, decided it was meh, and threw it in the vault. But recently, I decided to give it another try, thinking my previous judgment might have been a bit too hasty. For those who don't know what it does, here's a quick explanation. When using a barricade, shoot out a line of fire. The fire goes to its max range before returning in the same line to the barricade. Killing enemies with any kind of solar damage gives you barrier energy. It's around 3 to 4 kills for a full recharge. So, should you use Kefri's horn?
No.
Allow me to explain. There are two parts to Kefri's horn: the fire pulse damage and the quick barricade regen from killing enemies. Let's talk about the fire pulse first. The only time the fire pulse will bounce back to the barricade is if it has enough space to reach max range to do its return trip. That means that any environmental object or ledge blocking it from going to max range will stop the pulse and no return pulse will occur, so you're only getting half the damage. So most of the time in tight spaces, you're getting one pulse forward at best. It is janky most of the time, and when it does function right, there's almost no point to it. Just throwing a grenade would do the same thing, but with less restrictions and conditions. It's just easier to do in general. Admittedly, though, it does help with the taken phalanxes you would fight in a nightfall like Lake of Shadows. You can block the knockback blast that they like to do with their shields and counter them by shooting a fire blast at them at the same time. The fire pulse always seems to singe their toes rather than hit the shield, so it is useful in that regard. But that's it. It functions like a jankier and worse version of your grenade. It's like buying something online and they give you a free, poorly made complementary item. The barricade itself is the main item, the fire pulse is the shitty free item. Technically, it's better than a normal barricade because it's a barricade that can shoot fire, but realistically, there's no point to it. It doesn't help you that much. And most of the time, using your barricade offensively is not ideal. I always prefer to use my barricade to create temporary cover rather than use it as a second dinky ass grenade to kill ads. I have a grenade and 3 other guns to do that for me. I don't need my barricade to do that too. In short, the fire pulse feels rather pointless. But what about the second part? Regaining your barrier by killing things is good, right? That's what I thought too, buddy, before I realized that there is also no point in doing that. None. At all. I'm kinda slightly angry about this. Sure, you can get the barricade back quickly by killing some ads, but how many times do you actually use your barricade in a fight? Think about it. Personally, I use it before a big engagement to have some cover while ad clearing, just peeking my head out and just clearing them out. But after I kill everything, I just move on to the next fight to set up my barricade again. There's I don't set it up again during the first fight. There's no need for it. It's quite irrelevant to be able to prop up your barricade multiple times in most encounters. Most fights simply do not last that long. Think to the current Nightfall this week, Lake of Shadows, where essentially you would just have to fight stuff at each taken blight bubble thingamajiggy. And that's pretty much it. It's just a short skirmish where you have to defend yourself, kill everything as fast as you can, and move on. It doesn't take that long. A situation that I can think of that might warrant multiple sustained barricades would be the Devil's Lair Nightfall boss fight, where blocking multiple enemy sightlines for your team is very useful. Oftentimes, as a Titan, you get shot a lot when you stand there trying to barrier up one area. A lot of times, you wish you had like a second barricade to do the same thing. So, Kefri's Horn could help in this situation. But this is pretty much it that I can think of. So then I thought, maybe it's useful to just guarantee you'll have barricade ready for the next fight? But this was also apparently not necessary. As a certified crayon eating titan main, my resilience is at a casual 7 on a bad day. That reduces my barricade cooldown by a good amount. Couple that with some armor mods and you can make it even less. Usually my barricade is always up whenever I need it, which means that Kefri's horn is unnecessary in ensuring barricade cooldowns, because Titans by nature have low cooldowns on their barricades. It's just like an inbuilt part of the kit. We are chunky people with a lot of barricades. A lot of them. So you can get the barricade back faster with Kefri's horn versus without Kefri's horn, but there's no point in doing so in most situations, and most likely does not warrant an exotic armor slot for it. It turns out that there's really no reason to use Kefri's horn other than it looks cool or is fun to use. But being the madman that I am, I asked myself, what about PvP? No, just no. Don't do that. Don't ever try this at home or at work or anywhere. Let me explain. Theoretically, it can work as a shotgun rusher counter. Yes, it can work to counter shotgun rushers. But realistically, it depends on the enemy charging you full speed in a straight line through your barricade after being hit by the fire pulse. It also can only work on flat, straight surfaces with no obstacles and no ledges, so pray to God they're not jumping up at you, because they're gonna dodge the whole thing completely. There are also much easier ways to counter shotgun rushers. Jumping away and grenading them, or just shooting them with your own shotgun. That's already countering shotgun rushers. To paraphrase my good friend Wrecker, saying that Kefri's horn counters shotgun rushers is like saying barrel stuffing them with a sniper is a counter to shotgun rushing. Both are possible to do, just really difficult in reality, especially when compared with easier alternatives. Thankfully, my sanity returned to me and I did not try this in the Crucible. Comment down below if you were brave enough to actually try this in the Crucible and tell me how it went. I would really like to know. If I had to describe Kefri's horn in a single word, that word would be pointless. Half the time I was using Kefri's horn, I forgot I had it equipped. Really, I'm not joking. The exotic barely had any impact on my gameplay. A good way to tell how much impact an exotic has on your gameplay is to use it for a while, then take it off. When I took off Heart of Inmost Light to use Dune Marchers, I kept miscalculating how much damage one grenade did, because Heart of Inmost Light allowed me to one-shot a lot of people with it. When I took off Dune Marchers to use Peacekeepers, I forgot that I no longer had Chain Lightning on my punches, and I had to hold my SMG to sprint faster. That also led to a lot of awkward brawling situations, but that's another story for another day. But when I took off Kefri's horn, I felt nothing. My gameplay went on like usual. Not once did I say, oh, I wish my barricade could shoot out fire again. Or, ah, crap, I forgot. I can't recharge my barricade by killing adds with solar damage. Gosh darn it. To sum it up, Kefri's horn is not worth using. If it's the only exotic you have, slap it on and use it. Might as well have a secondary mini grenade slash barricade and faster barricade recovery if that's the only choice you have. But if you have better options, I'd recommend you take that option instead. Leave Kefri's horn right well alone. That's all for today, folks. Catch you guys later. Good night and sweet dreams. Meme Cat signing off.